Do you think the Crested Gecko is a better reptile pet? Or do you think that the amazing Leopard Gecko is going to make a better reptile pet for the average person? Find out in today's video.
Mos Reptiles, a message of conservation through education.
What's going on, guys? The first topic that we're going to be talking about today is with the Crested Gecko, and we're going to be talking about their handling. Now, as you can see, Crested Geckos are a super docile species of lizard, absolutely beautiful and gorgeous, and they're just an extremely chill and laid-back lizard. Even in the wild, these guys are just very naturally calm. Crested Geckos make great pets for this reason. Now, I will tell you that Crested Geckos can be a little bit jumpy. This guy especially loves to sort of go different places and explore, as you can see as he crawls up my arm here. But these guys, on general, are just great lizards. Sometimes, if you're a little afraid of jumpy lizards or lizards that do things that are sort of unpredictable, Crested Geckos might not be the best lizard for you. But if you're okay with that and you think that Crested Geckos can make a good pet, even being a little jumpy, then I would definitely recommend the Crested Gecko. Now, the Leopard Gecko is a terrestrial species, meaning that they live on the ground. They are much more docile and calm being in a person's hand compared to the arboreal or tree-dwelling Crested Gecko. Now, as you can see, Leopard Geckos still love to explore and crawl around and just find their new environment, but compared to the Crested Gecko, they're going to be much more docile and are not going to be as jumpy. If you're more comfortable with a more docile lizard that just sort of crawls around, doesn't do much, you can chill with the couch on him for about an hour, watch a movie, he's going to just be chilling out. If that's more your style, then I would recommend the Leopard Gecko. So what that means is that the Leopard Gecko is going to win this first topic here that we are debating today between the Leopard Gecko and the Crested Gecko. The Leopard Gecko is going to win this handling category. The Crested Gecko here is going to be a much easier animal to feed. I'm sure you guys can already assume which one I'm going to choose for this category. But to explain a little further, the Crested Gecko eats and survives mainly off fruits and nectar in the wild. Occasionally they'll have some insects into their diet, which we can mimic with Pangea, Rapacio, or other brands of a powder diet that we mix with water to feed these guys. Some of these powders even include those mashed up insects inside their diet, meaning that we don't have to supplement it with live insects. Over here, if we look at the Leopard Gecko, lift him up from his hide over here, these guys are insectivores, meaning that they feed exclusively on live insects. This insectivorous diet is going to make the Leopard Gecko a little bit more of like a turn-off as far as feeding goes. Now, some people aren't as fond of the crickets or the worms or any live insect. So if that's just not your thing, the Crested Gecko, which just jumped off the table there, is going to be a lot easier of an animal to feed. Now, the next category between these two competitors over here, we're going to be talking about caging today. Now, if we look at both of these animals, you guys are going to see a pan of their enclosures right popping up in the screen right in front of me right now. Now, as you can see, the Crested Gecko's enclosure is more of a tall arboreal enclosure with a lot of plants. You might also notice that there's water dripping from those leaves. This water is going to mean that they need a lot of humidity in their enclosures. So they're going to need to be sprayed down using a misting bottle. Now, if you take a look at our Leopard Gecko enclosure, which is a 20-gallon long fish tank with a bunch of different hides, a small water bowl, and a little cap with calcium, you'll notice that these guys are going to be more ground-dwelling than the Crested Gecko is. These guys are going to enjoy their floor space much more. Now, coming back to the screen right over here. Hey guys, what's going on? So we're going to take a look at this Crested Gecko, and as you can see, obviously they're very arboreal. They're going to need a tall cage. They live in the trees in the wild. Now, you're obviously going to want to give them plenty of branches and space to roam, flat areas, tall areas, long areas, but they're going to need a lot more space and a lot more height for the Crested Gecko. On the other hand, we're going to look at the Leopard Gecko here, which is going to be dwelling mainly on the ground. Like we said before, they are terrestrial. So, they're going to be sitting on the ground. They're going to need a lot more floor space. Now, this is really up to you and your personal liking, basically. Now, if you prefer an animal where you prefer a sort of longer tank size compared to a taller tank size, then the Leopard Gecko is going to be the animal for you. If you want an animal that needs more of a taller cage, not as much floor space, easier to fit on maybe a desk, you're going to be looking at a Crested Gecko. The last comparison we're going to be making between these two adversaries over here is we're going to be talking about lighting. Now, these are both nocturnal creatures, meaning that they are active at night. As you can see right here, this Crested Gecko here isn't too happy about me placing him on this table to do a little show for you guys. and under this cork bark lays the amazing Leopard Gecko hiding from the bright light of the day. Now these guys are both nocturnal, so they're going to be active at night, so they are not going to require any lighting whatsoever. Now it is debatable that these animals need a day and night cycle, meaning that they should have lights during the day and lights off at night like humans do. But honestly, it is neither beneficial nor harmful to them. Personally, I don't use a day and night cycle. You may have seen a lighting, like a hood, a light on top of the Crested Gecko cage earlier. That was just for video purposes. Otherwise, I do not use any lighting for these guys. Let me know what you guys do for your animals down below, and we can start a little discussion in the comments. And there you go, guys. So that brings us to the final conclusion. Now, we're going to give the lighting both 1 point because they're both great for lighting since they don't need any. So, we're going to tally up those points, and we're going to do an outro. Alrighty guys, wrapping up the video, the final score between these two amazing animals is going to be 3-3. If you enjoyed this if you enjoyed this episode of the Reptile Smackdown, then let me know in the comments down below. Drop a like and maybe subscribe if you're feeling like it. Now we're going to do many more videos of these, and let me know which the next two animals we should compare is in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Stay curious, stay positive, love animals. Keep both during the day. Personally, I don't do so.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Left over.